Hey, sweeties. I hope everybody's doing really good today. I'm so excited to be with you. I'm always excited. But I am truly excited to be with you today because I always pray before I do our little fun time together, and I always ask, the Lord what he would like for me to talk about that day. And some days it might be a little spiritual. Some days it might not be, really spiritual, but fun. Or some days it might just be something that I think that someone needs to hear, or something that maybe I've been through that I can tell you will come out on the other side. Just all different kinds of things. So today, when I said my prayer before we have our special time, I just felt like he wanted me to talk to you about something that may not be really a fun topic, but it's something that so many of us struggle with. It's called anxiety. I know, it's shocking that I could have ever had any kind of a problem with anxiety because I'm so happy. And you know what, sweetie? I really am that happy. Like, I'm that happy because my happiness is not dependent upon, everything being okay all the time. My happiness is because I have so much joy in my heart, because I have Jesus in my heart. And that's the honest truth. But sweeties, about 10 years ago, nothing big happened. Wasn't like a fire or someone passed away, or like there was no catastrophic event. But I knew when I woke up that something was really different. And I kept thinking, God, what is the matter? What is wrong? I just knew I felt a heaviness, like a real heaviness. And truly, sweeties, I just don't usually feel that way. I usually feel extremely happy. And I just was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And at the time, I had a daughter who was turning 5. And this is when the anxiety really, really started. And this was about 25 years ago. But I've been free of it now, sweeties, for over a decade. And that's what I can't wait to tell you about. My daughter was turning 5, and she looked so much like me, bless her heart. When my son turned 5, I didn't, I was just happy. Oh, Carl, he's 5. I didn't really think anything about it. But for some reason, when my daughter turned 5, I started to feel like something was bad wrong with me. Just out of the blue, sweetie. Truly out of the blue. I mean, really bad though. And I became so anxiety ridden about my health. Just, I don't think my heart feels normal today. I don't think my legs feel normal today. I mean, it was a little bit over the top. And it became a stronghold in my life. It became my focus when I woke up, my focus when I went to bed. And after about, seriously, honey, maybe 6 months of just trying to shake it off, trying to make it go away, I accepted the fact that the happiest person on earth, like Mickey Mouse, has got nothing on me, had true debilitating anxiety problems. And I went to a doctor. And when I went to the psychiatrist doc, because I didn't know what to do, I had to look one up. I didn't even know anything about that. He was like, I'd really prefer that you just see my therapist. And I was like, well, I don't really need therapy. I'm really happy. I just have a problem. And he was like, I agree. But let's just let's just check it out and see. So I went to the therapist, and the first thing she said to me was, so you have your biological mom and dad? And I said, no, but I have wonderful mom and stepdad. I've been doted on all my life. Trust me, it's not a problem. And she goes, so what about your biological dad? And I said, well, I don't really know him. He left when I was 5 years old, and I've seen him twice in my life, and I don't really know him. She goes, and your children are? I said, they're 7 and 5. My son is 7, my daughter's 5. She said, and your dad left when you were 5? I go, yes. She goes, and he did not return us? No. She goes, Lisa, this one's going to be fairly simple. When your son turned 5, it was okay. You know, didn't remind you of anything. But when your daughter turned 5, and she kind of looked like you, it reminded you of what happened to you at 5 years old. And you became horrified of doing it to your children. And you knew you never would, so the only thing that would cause you to abandon them was your help. So it became a fixation. And to be honest, it made perfect sense, but I had never, ever thought of it, ever. And, you know, that's why they're therapists. And you know how much I love Jesus, and you know how much I pray all the time. So please mark this down, sweeties. It doesn't mean you don't need help sometimes. Sometimes you absolutely need help, just like if it were a medical condition. So don't ever think that that made you less of a strong Christian, or I didn't have enough faith. No, none of that's true. The Lord created really smart people in those fields for a reason. So what she told me to do, she said, I want you to write your dad a letter. And I said, well, I don't even know where to find him. And she said, do you know any family member? And I said, I know one aunt. I know where to find her. She said, okay, write him a letter and mail it to her. She goes, that's all I'm asking you to do, is just write this letter. And I go, okay, but I don't see how that's going to help, but I'll be glad to. I'm in it to win it. So I wrote him a letter, and I started with, I don't have anything to say to you. And 7 pages later, I said a whole lot. I said some kind of ugly things like, well, it was only appropriate that you weren't at my wedding because you gave me away a long time ago. And then I would turn right around and say, sweetie, we have got to find a way to each other. We could only have 60 years left. But it was the most healing thing I had ever done. And I would have never, ever done it because I didn't know I needed to, because I just thought I knew everything. But I did know that debilitating anxiety, I needed some help with. So I mailed this letter to my aunt, who called my dad and said, I have a letter from Lisa. And he said, don't read it to me. I'll be on the next plane. Sorry. I want to read it myself. And sweeties, to make a long story short, at the age of 32, I met my dad. I didn't even realize he had been an alcoholic and a lot of horrible things. I just knew my mom was very gracious and just said that he had a sickness and that it caused him to leave us, which was alcoholism. But we were really young, so she didn't go into detail. But she always just said he loved us and, you know, he couldn't help it. But what I didn't know was he had been sober for like over 20 years. He just didn't want to interfere with our life because he felt like he didn't have the right to do that. So I met him at 32, and we've been close ever since. My children got to grow up with Papa Ken. Sweeties, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And don't think you don't have enough faith, or if you're having a little bit of anxiety or depression or a lot of it, it doesn't mean anything, sweetie. It doesn't make you less of this or that or anything. Go get help, honey. Go get help. Pray about it. Ask the Lord to show you where to go. Because I'm telling you, it literally broke the stronghold in my life. That was so strong, I really thought, I didn't know if I could ever be like completely normal again. And it didn't happen overnight after that letter, but it happened within the next 6 months, within a year. I had truly, truly conquered that demon, that stronghold in my life. And sweeties, whatever your strongholds are, the Lord will help you with them, and He'll guide you to other people that can help them as well. I started not to tell you guys about this silly little story because I want you to always see me as real happy. But you know what, sweeties? I am real happy. And I'm real thankful that every time a little bit of anxiety or something like that comes from anywhere, I think, you know what? I learned how to handle you through therapy, and you have no control over me. So if you need to get help, sweetie, you get it. And if you want to comment, I'll pray for you. Just know that Jesus loves you, sweetie, and He has a plan for your life. He has a plan for everything, and He will get you through crap. So let Him. Ask Him who to go to get help, and then go and get help so that you can come out on the other side and help other people, because that is what it's all about. Thank you for visiting with me today. Please tell your friends. I want to grow. I love you all so much. Have a great week.